Welcome to the Archangel Michael on air show. I'm Michael, your host for this Friday, September 17th, 2021. Our discussion today will be the January 6th insurrection and tomorrow's rally at our nation's capital. As you are fully aware, fencing has gone up again around the Capitol. And I have my very high suspicions about this. But let's watch this video and then we'll get right to it.
Breaking news, law enforcement now preparing for the possibility of armed protesters at Saturday's far-right rally in support of the January 6th rioters. This just hours after Capitol Police warned of, quote, concerning online chatter about the rally and confirmed temporary fencing will return a day or two beforehand due to concern of violence. Also earlier today, Capitol Police said they arrested a California man in a truck with a bayonet and a machete near DNC headquarters, painted on the truck a swastika and other white supremacist symbols. Donnie O'Sullivan is now out front. And Donnie, you have been speaking to Trump supporters specifically about this upcoming rally and its significance and who's going to go and what they think about it. What are they telling you?
Yeah, that's right, Aaron. There is some confusion. There's a lot of mixed messages about this event on Saturday. I will say some of the major peddlers of QAnon and other conspiracy theories, people who are telling people to go to Washington on January 6th, they are now telling their supporters, many of them Trump supporters, to stay away from Washington on Saturday. They are basically claiming that this is some sort of false flag operation, a way to entrap Trump supporters. So even though that's a conspiracy theory in itself, that might be welcome news to some in the Capitol. But of course, as we know, what we're hearing from Capitol Police is that there is this concerning chatter online. And even though that there are some major conspiracy theorists telling people not to show up in Washington, that may not, of course, stop some extreme folks from showing up. I want you to take a listen to a couple of Trump supporters I spoke to on Saturday, both of whom did go to Washington on January 6th. They said they didn't go into the Capitol building. They said they're undecided about whether they will go to the event on Saturday, but crucially, they are very supportive of the objectives of the demonstration on Saturday, which is in support of the insurrectionists. Have a listen. So you mentioned there's a lot of chat about an event happening here in Washington next week on the 18th.
Yes.
To support, I think, people who were detained, arrested.
Yes. They're political prisoners, pretty much.
They're stuck in solitary 23 hours a day.
Our own politicians.
They're not given a speedy trial. They're not given the rights that we should have.
But, I mean, do you think what happened up there on the 6th of January was a stain on Trump's presidency?
No, I don't.
I think it was a setup.
I think it was a setup from the beginning.
In terms of this event on the 18th, you know, people up on Capitol Hill are scared.
Yeah.
Should they be scared?
They should be. I mean, an election was stolen. You know, there's no way that I've seen those millions of people here. If those people were here to do damage on January 6th, they could have took that whole Capitol over.
Oh, my.
Easy.
We could have busted every window and taken everybody.
Yeah.
But that's not why we were here.
The only person who got killed that day was a Trump supporter. And her name was
Babbitt.
Ashley Babbitt.
And she was murdered.
And of course, police determined that the officer who shot Ashley Babbitt acted lawfully and potentially saved lives. And of course, we know that police officers who responded to the insurrection have died since. But just important to point out there, Aaron, that even though this couple were saying that they're not sure whether they'll show up on Saturday, they are also hearing these conspiracy theories online about the event that is sort of scaring them away. They are ultimately supportive of the objectives of it, and they don't see anything that happened on January 6th as necessarily wrong.
As I stated, I have my very high suspicions about this. But let's go back to January 6th. For me, and this is my opinion only, I think the FBI and the way they handled the whole thing was way glorified and out of proportion by putting people's pictures on the news. Like, it was, to me, the most ridiculous thing, really. When you have Antifa and Black Lives Matter and other organizations out looting, taking over the streets where George Floyd died, not allowing ambulances to come in, not allowing police and policing their own neighborhood. I mean, to me, that's far worse than anything else. And these guys get away with all these things. And the people that are patriots and are standing up for the rights of America are called, different names, terrorists or whatever and so forth. I haven't seen any of those people do any riots or destroy cities or burn down buildings. So it's a very different opinion when you ask the left about a certain group. But nevertheless, the Capitol, as far as I'm concerned, and all government agencies are owned by the people. So how can you get charged for trespassing, in my opinion, if you're going to the Capitol? That's our house. That stuff belongs to us, the people. So how can you charge me for trespassing on my own property? That makes no sense. And like I said, in my opinion, they went really overboard on that. With that being said, tomorrow's rally is in support of all those people that were falsely arrested for an insurrection that supposedly President Trump encouraged at the time. There's supposed to be 700 people attending, according to FBI reports. Why do you need all this fencing up? You know that costs money, by the way, to put all that up. Taxpayer money. My thing is this. You have all these terrorists that already crossed the border from Texas and other places, and then you have all the terrorists that came from Afghanistan on our planes and are in different areas. I have a big feeling that something may happen where a bomb may go off here or there, either planned by our government or by the terrorists that have already been allowed in our country, and then they're going to blame the people showing up at our nation's capital. And from there, anything can happen. This is only my opinion. I believe our government will probably use this as a false flag event. Nevertheless, it's something that we need to see and see what develops and see what happens. I'm hoping nothing like that does happen. I'm hoping that everything is peaceful and the demonstrators that show up aren't set up as a sacrifice lamb and used as a false flag event. I'm hoping that our government stays out of it, and I'm hoping no other terrorist groups show up and trying to put the blame on them. With that being said, our country is fed up with this government. And also they're showing it all over the news. So they're giving more publicity, I guess, to get more people hyped up to come down on this protest in hopes of getting a lot of people there, and anything bad can happen. So with all those things that I just mentioned, if you haven't sought Jesus Christ yet, today I invite you to do so. Thank you for visiting the Archangel Michael On Air show. I'm your host, Michael, and have a beautiful, blessed weekend.